So today our topic is about switching between the frames. So before we have covered the Selenium basics and the locator techniques and drop down selection using select options. And today we will talk about the iframes. So do you know what is an iframe?
uh, it's not specifically, but it is like in the browser we have separate like I miss frames, like internal frames,
Yeah, yeah,
frame one, frame two, like.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, your answer is correct. But in detail, iframe is a document inside a document, a frame inside a frame, like opening another web page inside our web page. So it is
Yeah. Okay.
not a set of elements under our web page, but another web page opened using a tag, which tag is iframe. So here is a simple definition. An iframe is an HTML document embedded inside another HTML document on a website. The
Okay.
iframe HTML is often used to insert content from another source, such as advertisement, into a web page. So yeah, usually iframe is used for advertisements because advertisements, let's suppose Google Ads or things are part of Google Ads, so they are not on our web page specifically. So we use iframe to get them. So that's how Google is checking the impressions and clicks against a specific ad, as they have ad on their own front, and we are just opening it using the iframe.
Yeah. Okay.
So that is a simple representation. Like here we see this, that we have an iframe tag. We are telling about the source, that from which folder it is opening that specific page, and other properties like height and width. So here the ad is shown, the iframe is opened. That's how we are opening a page inside a page. So how can we deal with an iframe? If we have to do something with an iframe, so it is a challenge, as it is not part of our current page. So the elements
Yeah.
are not inside our actual DOM. So like if we create XPath of an element which is inside the iframe, so that XPath would not work directly until we are switched on the iframe itself. So
Okay. So I have a quick question here. Like,
yeah,
until and unless we see the page source, we will not be able to ensure that this HTML page have iframes, right?
yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, like we have a page,
Yeah.
this tutorials point page, where it is telling about the iframes, and it have many frames like this iframe and these iframes.
Yeah.
So let's go to the source. Or if I simply access it, there we go. There we have an iframe. Then that iframe has another HTML tag, then head, then body, and then everything into it. So it is a separate web page inside a web page. So our main frame, our main web page, don't have access to it directly, as it is another entity.
Yes.
So for simply checking the iframes, we could also use our XPath technique. Simply / iframe. Okay. So all
Oh,
of
okay.
these.
It is acting like a tag, right?
Sorry.
So it is an HTML tag, right?
Yeah. iframe is an HTML tag.
Yeah, like input and div. So it is also an
Exactly.
HTML tag. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. But the tags inside iframes are not accessible directly. So we just need to switch
Okay.
to an iframe before accessing anything inside the iframe. So let's suppose we have this one. So out of these iframes, we will select one. Let's suppose we have this one.
Oh, there are 45 iframes on this page.
Yeah. Okay, so let's target the first iframe with an ID. So let's suppose this one, which has an ID.
Yeah.
So I will simply copy the ID. So let's suppose we want to switch to iframe and then click on the element, this specific element, this image inside the iframe. So first of all, we will be opening this URL.
Uh, so is it Eclipse or something like that, or
Sorry,
so? I just want to know what is this editor? Is it
IntelliJ,
Eclipse?
IntelliJ idea.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So so for this we have every time dark mode, or we have normal mode also?
No, no, no. I wrote this part already. So it is in the first class, everything that how to set up the driver using this command instead of
No, no,
using
no,
driver
not
exist.
before. Yeah, yeah, I know that, but I just thought that for IntelliJ it is every time like this dark mode, or we have done it like,
No,
because I have
no.
not used IntelliJ, I've used Eclipse.
Yeah, yeah. Those are similar, Eclipse and IntelliJ. So we have wrote everything on our own. So I'm
Okay,
just
okay.
not repeating this part as it is already done. But if you want, I can
Yeah, yeah,
write
sure.
it.
No, no, no. I'm not asking that one. I'm asking this dark mode. I think it is in night mode, right? But black color everywhere. So I just thought that.
Yeah, yeah. It is night mode. Yeah, it has both modes, bright mode and night.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. I was asking that. This one I know already, so you can undo it. So no problem. Yeah,
Okay, okay. Perfect.
yeah, sure.
Okay, so we will open the URL once we copy it and we will create the element itself.
So can we access the iframe using any other locator or only through XPath? Like,
No, no, we can access it directly like this. Driver
okay, by
dot
ID.
switch to dot frame, and then
Oh,
here we could put the ID or the name or the XPath and it will get it. Or we could also pass the web element in the parameter.
okay, okay, okay. Yeah, got it.
Yeah. So that's how we will switch to the iframe. So before that, opening the URL. So we will open this URL. So now we have to reach this element. So let's suppose we will find it on the basis of class. So in the beginning, we will execute it without switching to iframe, as this element is on our web page. So let's try to click it.
Yeah.
Okay. So there we are. Let's try finding it. And there we got the error. Okay. So now let's try with switching into iframe and then finding that specific element.
Okay.
Okay, so here it is failing while switching to the iframe. So
Yeah.
I think it is failing as iframe is not loaded. Right after the page is loaded, it is taking a little bit time.
Okay.
We could use explicit wait with some expected conditions here as well. But we have not discussed weights in this class.
Yeah. So maybe for this program we can use that base load timeout.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
But it is not failing at page load.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, iframe is loading a bit after that. So it was failing there. So we have some expected conditions for frame load as well. But for now, we have just waited for some seconds and it worked. So we are on the next line. Let's try that. Okay. Failed again. So for the reference, it is better to open this specific iframe here. There. Okay. And now let's try the same thing in the last open window. Maybe it is changing the native.
Okay.
Yeah, it has changed the native.
So in dynamically the element value is changing, right? ID
Yeah,
value is
yeah, yeah.
look started value.
Okay, I think this one will remain constant. Google Center diff. So
Yeah, we can try that. It is showing three.
we have one of three, but in case of iframe, it would be only one inside that iframe. So each iframe has that one advertisement iframe. So let's close the older windows. And let's try this one. Okay, so it is switched to the iframe. And it is finding the element and now clicking on that element. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So we have switched to the iframe, and then inside the iframe we have clicked a specific element. So that's one part. To switch to an iframe, as we have seen, we could use either ID or name or the whole XPath or any unique attribute out of the specific given attributes, either ID, name, class name, or the XPath. So on the basis of
So here we need to.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. So here we need to give in the brackets. We need to give only the value, right?
Yeah, only the value, not by
Okay.
clause like by dot name, by dot this.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
we are only
So
passing the
automatically
value.
it will fetch.
Yeah, it will
Okay.
automatically find out.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. So that's one part that we always have to switch to an iframe in order to work over it. So, but this solution itself has a problem that whenever we switch to an iframe, so we are now inside the iframe. Now we cannot access the main content, the everything in the actual page itself. Like
Okay. So once we go to the iframe, we cannot come back to the main page.
we can, but until we have not switched back, so we cannot access anything in the outer environment. Let's suppose we are in this iframe, so we cannot access this button or anything
Yes.
because it is not
Yeah.
in that iframe. So for that purpose, we need to switch back to the parent frame or the default
Parent.
content. Okay, so there are two ways of doing that. First one is to switch to the parent frame, driver.switch to parent frame. So that's how we could switch to the parent frame. But we have another thing here, driver.switch to default content. So the difference here between parent frame and default content is that let's suppose you have an iframe on your page and that iframe again have an iframe inside it. Okay. So you
Yeah.
are in the nested iframe. you have switched to the inner iframe. So after you are
Yes.
in the inner iframe, so once you move to the parent frame, so you will be the parent. You will be reaching the parent of that iframe.
Okay, not to the web page if it is inside. Okay.
Yeah, but using the default content, you will
Come
actually
back to the entire web page.
exactly the actual page itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, from where
Yes, yes, got
actually
it.
the execution started. So default content will take us there, but parent will take us to the parent of the current iframe. So that could itself be an iframe or the actual page. So
Okay.
so let's do it.
But in our example, this one, as we have clicked that and the cursor means the focus went to the new
New
tab in the
tab.
web page.
Yeah.
Yes, if we want, yeah, if we do again now default content, then it will come back to the previous tab and
No,
focus
no, no,
will
no,
be
no.
there. Or
No.
okay,
Focus
we need to close that.
focus would remain shifted. We have to change focus through another command, which is also the switch to command. But
Yeah, yeah.
focus would remain changed, but the the actual focus of WebDriver is still on that tab. Like, even if we have opened another new tab and that is active, but for WebDriver, the first tab is active. So if we
Okay, okay.
so let's suppose we have this one. So I will simply create an XPath as it have text and a space and an icon as well. So okay, so we will click this next page.
Yeah, sure.
So for clicking it, we need to driver dot switch to dot parent frame and driver dot find element by dot xpath and click. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, found the element. Clicked on the element, moved to parent frame and clicked on this one. Okay, so you see that before it was HTML blocks, but now it is HTML backgrounds.
Mhm.
Like here we had it HTML blocks when it opened, but now it is HTML backgrounds after clicking on the next page. So if we click the previous page, so it loads HTML blocks again. So as I said, that focus is still on the first tab. So for changing the focus between tabs, we need to switch between the tab as well. Got my point?
Okay, okay. Yes.
Okay, so any questions for now?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Okay, so that's it for today. If you have
Okay.
anything, you may please ask. If you have any question from any other topic of Selenium, you may ask that as well.
Okay. No, I've